Hey guys, back for chapter number 3. In this chapter I'm just going to go over how these patterns, these 1, 2, 3 patterns, show support and resistance areas. So hopefully you read chapter 3 first before you're looking at this. So let's get started. I drew a horizontal blue line here just so it's easier to see the areas I'm talking about. Okay, this isn't an indicator or anything like that, it's just a regular horizontal line. Alright, so let's look at this example. This is a pound US on a 1 hour chart. We got bar number 1, bar number 2, bar number 3. Real pretty setup. So if you read the chapter, you know that the entry, at least the advice I give for an entry, is usually 6 to 12 pips below the low of bar number 1 for a sell, and 6 to 12 pips below the high of bar number 1 for a buy. It's kind of hard to make this really exact. I mean, there's really no such thing as exact when it comes to trading. It's more of an estimate that I've kind of figured out as throughout all this time I've been trading. It's really best for the 6 to 12 pip range. It's really best for a 30-minute to a 1 hour chart. If you use a lower time frame, it's going to be a lower range. So let's say you're using a 5 or 15-minute chart. You might want to do, I don't know, 3 to 6 instead of 6 to 12. And of course, if you're going to go higher, if you're going to use a daily chart or a weekly chart or a monthly chart, obviously it's going to be a lot more than 6 to 12 pips. You kind of have to try it out for yourself, do some back testing, and see the figures for yourself so you have an idea of what would be a good entry. Again, there's no such thing as exact when it comes to something like this, but I just want to show you how well these become support and resistance areas. So let's get started. We got bar number 1 here. We got a low right over here. Look over here, and it's going to show you the low. Okay, keep your eyes over there. For this, we have a low of 161.35. Alright, so for a low of 161.35, we're going to take away 6 to 12 pips for that because this is a 1 hour chart. So let's say our entry would be, what is this, 161.29 or 161.23. Okay, so that would be our entry. Let's see where, that would be our hypothetical entry. Let's see where we would have gotten in at. This has a high of 161.06. That was not going to do it. But over here, we definitely got in. It actually went as high as 161.98. So if we had gone in at the 161.20 area, it would have gone against us for, I guess, 60 pips, something like that, 60 pips. But you can see it really held. Look at that. It never closed above the high of bar number 1. See that? Never closed. That's the important thing. When an area is tested as either support or resistance area, whether the high for a sell of bar number 1 has a significant close above it, let's say it closed over here, then that's a different story. But you can see it just held really well, and after that it just kind of meandered its way down there. Okay? Let's look at another example. Alright, with this we're looking at a Euro-US 1 hour chart. Okay, this is a really pretty buy setup. Bar number 1, bar number 2, and bar number 3. Alright, so we have a high of bar number 1 at, make sure to look over here again, 141.82. So technically our entry would be 6 to 12 pips above that, so you're talking about 141.88 or 141.96. I think that's what it is. So let's see what happened here. Looks like we would have entered somewhere around this area here. As you can see, it kind of went a little against us, but pretty light, nothing major. It went as low as 141.57. Our entry would have been, what was it again? 141.82. So you're talking 20-30 pip drawdown, and as you can see, what happened afterwards. It's a really pretty move. I mean, this is about, what are we looking at here? These are all 1 hour, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, about 10 hours of basically in that support area, and it held. Okay, take a look at another one. Alright, we got a pound yen on a 30-minute chart. Okay, really pretty setup here. Bar number 1, bar number 2, and bar number 3. We've got a low of bar number 1 sitting at 189.89. 6 to 12 pips, you're talking an entry of 189.83 or 189.77. Okay, looks like our entry would have been, right over here in this bar. Went a little against this, but again, pretty minor stuff, very minor stuff. Had a nice big downturn after that. Came back up again, and you could see the area again. It had a hard time breaking that area again, and it eventually collapsed. Okay, pound franc. This is a 1-hour chart on the pound franc. Really, really pretty setup. 1, 2, 3. Look at that. Look at that black hole. Very nice. Alright, so we have a low of bar number 1 sitting at what? 201.74. Okay. 6 to 12 pips below that. We're talking 201. Lost my train of thought. 201.68 or 201.62. Okay, obviously it went against us here. Okay, kind of broke through that strong resistance area. But take a look. Never even went above it, let alone closed above the high of bar number 1. See that? Again, this area is strong. And you can see what happened. It went down afterwards, then kind of went back up. And you see that area. You see that support area. Excuse me, resistance area. And eventually went back down. Okay, Aussie US. Let's take a look at this one. We've got a sell here. 1, 2, 3. You got low of bar number 1 sitting at 69.07. So you take away 6 to 12 from that, you're looking at 69.01 or 68.96. Okay, looks like we got hit here. 68.88. No, there we go. High of 69 even. There you go. Perfect. Within that 6 pip range. Absolutely perfect. Just nipped it, and it came all crashing down. Alright, another entry here. This was another one. I just kind of saw it here at the same area, so I figured I'd show this one as well. Another sell. 1, 2, 3. Alright, so you have a low of bar number 1 sitting at 66.74. Okay, subtract 6 to 12 pips from that, you're looking at 65. I'm sorry, 66. 68 or 66.62. Okay, looks like we got hit right here at 66.63. Pretty good, pretty good. And you can see what happened afterwards. Okay, the goal of this is just to show you how these things become support and resistance areas. Okay. So what I want you to basically do is do a little more back testing. Got a little more homework to do. Do some more back testing. This time, spot these patterns and see how the support and resistance holds up. Okay. Try it in all different kind of time frames. Get used to seeing it, because you'll notice that it doesn't work exactly the same as far as 6 to 12 pips. You'll see that the shorter the time frame, the shorter the range. It's more visually. You'll see it visually more than numerically, if that even makes sense. So take care of that, and that's it. I'll see you in Chapter 4. A fair warning: some of them do not work. There's no such thing as every single time in Forex. No, there's no 100% of Forex. Don't worry about it. Just take a look at the ones that do work and see how they work. Take a look at those areas, those important support and resistance areas. Don't worry, I'll cover the ones that do not work as well. Okay? Alright. See you in the next chapter.